Top 6. Celtic foraged nettle salad, Iron Age Britain. Celtic foraged nettle salad required no fire and no preparation, which is precisely why it sits at the bottom of this ranking. Following long barren winters, Celtic fighters foraged nettles, goosegrass, broomflowers, and native plantain, dressed with vinegar and linseed oil into a rough, bitter salad. Butser ancient farm food historian Liz Barnes-Downing, working from pottery residue and bog body gut analysis, confirmed this as a documented spring preparation, eaten purely out of necessity rather than preference. It delivered vitamins after winter scarcity, but almost no caloric density, protein, or fat, exactly what a soldier on the march needed most. No portability, no shelf life, no energy density to speak of. The Celtic system improved dramatically the moment fire entered the equation. By the end of this list, you will find out about the one ration that introduced the first professional military kitchen infrastructure to British soil. Top 5. Celtic cauldron stew / Fulacht fiad, Iron Age Britain. The Fulacht fiad was the Celtic field cooking system, a timber-lined pit filled with water, heated by dropping fire-scorched stones directly into the liquid until it boiled, then used to cook fava beans, spelt, barley, and dried pork. Archaeologists have identified over 4,000 burned mound cooking sites across Ireland and Britain, making it the most confirmed food preparation method in Iron Age Britain. The stew was calorie-dense and warming, far more efficient than raw forage. The limitations were significant. It required a stationary position, a water source, time to heat the stones, and enough fuel to maintain temperature. A mound of scorched stones also permanently marked the camp's location. As a field ration for a moving force, it had serious weaknesses, but as a camp meal, it was the most substantial food a Celtic warrior regularly ate. The next ration solved the portability problem, at least partially. Top 4. Anglo-Saxon Brew, pea and bean broth. Brew was the Anglo-Saxon soldiers' field broth. Dried peas, beans, and root vegetables boiled in a cauldron into a thick liquid eaten alongside bread. The Bayeux Tapestry, completed shortly after the Norman conquest of 1066, depicts Anglo-Saxon cooks preparing exactly this: a cauldron over an open fire beside spit-roasted meat, confirming brew as documented campaign food. Cambridge researchers Sam Leggett and Tom Lambert confirmed through isotope analysis that Anglo-Saxon warriors subsisted primarily on cereals and legumes, rather than the meat-heavy diet popular history assumes. Brew improved on the Celtic cauldron stew in one critical way. Dried legumes were portable and shelf-stable, carried on the march and rehydrated at camp, removing dependency on finding fresh food near the cooking site. It was plain food, but reliable food. Reliability on campaign matters far more than flavour. What came next added preserved protein to that reliable base and changed the equation entirely. Before we announce the top 3, please consider like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you. Top 3. Viking Stockfish and Flatbread, Britain Raids. When Viking raiders beached on British shores during the 9th and 10th centuries, they carried the two provisions that had sustained them across the North Sea: stockfish and flatbread. Stockfish was wind-dried cod preserved for years without salt or refrigeration, rehydrated in water before eating. Flatbread was rye flour baked on hot stones until completely dry, designed to survive damp longship conditions for months. The World History Encyclopedia confirms these as the primary Viking field rations, and the Rye Viking Centre has reconstructed both from archaeological evidence. Together, they delivered protein, carbohydrate, and caloric density to sustain a raiding party without requiring any cooking fire once ashore. More portable and longer lasting than anything the Celtic or Anglo-Saxon systems had produced. The combination still lacked the systematic logistical organisation of what followed, a ration system so methodical it even tracked the cost and deducted it directly from each soldier's wages. Top 2. Anglo-Saxon hlaf and sialt flesk, bread and salted meat. The Anglo-Saxon warriors' higher quality provision combined hlaf, dense rye loaves baked in camp, with sialt flesk, salted mutton or beef preserved in brine before the campaign began. This improved on brew by introducing protein that needed no cooking to consume, and bread baked in batches, and carried for several days. Oakden's historical documentation confirms salted meat as the dependable Anglo-Saxon campaign baseline when requisitioned livestock was unavailable. Critically, Alfred the Great's Boer network, fortified towns each responsible for provisioning a local garrison, gave this combination an organisational backing that Celtic and Viking rations had never possessed. Supply infrastructure, however basic, marked the first genuine step toward a rational military food system on British soil. It was a meaningful leap forward, but the next ration arrived with an army that had been refining military food logistics for centuries before it ever set foot in Britain. Top 1. Norman Campaign Ration, post-1066. The Norman military ration that arrived with William the Conqueror in 1066 was the most survival-efficient food system on the British Isles to that point. Not because the food itself was superior, but because it operated within the first genuinely organised military supply infrastructure Britain had seen since the Roman withdrawal 6 centuries earlier. Smithsonian Magazine's coverage of Cardiff University's osteoarchaeological study confirmed pork consumption increased significantly after 1066, with Norman-controlled pig farming producing consistent fat content for preserved campaign rations. The Bayeux Tapestry explicitly depicts Norman soldiers slaughtering animals and cooking from organised field kitchens before Hastings. Provisioning as a deliberate pre-battle operation, not an improvisation. Norman logistics combined salted pork, hard bread, continental wine, and foraged livestock into a system where food was a planned military variable managed directly by the command structure. For the first time since Rome, the British battlefield was fed by design.
Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king!
If you're interested on ancient Roman Empire food or weird food culture matchup, then try watching these. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.